So Newcastle, as Steve Bruce was talking about, are on this terrible run of form. This is what their last 8 look like in the Premier League. There isn't a win in there, Jamie, but he said that he was encouraged by what he saw. There was enough in there to give him some encouragement about starting to turn things around, particularly with seeing Saint-Maximin and Fraser on the pitch. Did you see enough to be encouraged about Newcastle this season?
No, not really, especially when you see that run. You can't deny it. It's a rotten run. You talk about the style of football all you like, it's just not been good enough, really. Fans will always accept results, but if you're playing in a style of football and they're getting 37% possession and still losing games, that's not good enough. But like Steve Bruce said, this has been the situation for the last 3 or 4 years since I've watched Newcastle, and in this period, Rafa, Steve Bruce. And I look at a manager there, and I feel sorry for him because I like Steve Bruce. I played against him. He's a warrior. He's not a quitter, but he must think to himself, I don't need this. I said about the Villa fans, I feel sorry for them, they can't watch this. Could you imagine St James's Park, that game on Tuesday, if at home to Leeds, because they are sick to death of everything right now. And understandably, because it's not good viewing. I didn't for 1 second think they'd get a result today. I didn't believe they'd beat Sheffield United last week. And Steve Bruce, even if they did change the manager, there is a possibility they could, I don't see a new manager coming in and changing too much with that squad. When I look at Villa, I think of all the stars and the players you could sell as an example. I can't see too many Newcastle players you get money for. I'm thinking Saint-Maximin, maybe you gamble on him, not big money. There's not many. And they are not good enough. You could go and get Rafa back. Maybe he's left, that might be something they look at, or that's the fans' dream, maybe. But I don't think he changes anything with his squad. Fundamentally, I've listened to Jamie and Gary Munn, and I thought he made a lot of great points. There's so many things wrong with that club. And one of the biggest ones that's bothered me for a while is the academy, Kelly. Years ago, they always had a superstar Geordie. You look at Gazza, Waddle, Beardsley, even Lee Clark when I was a kid coming through, Steve Watson, players like that. There's no kids coming through. That used to be a football hotbed, Newcastle. Yeah. Where is the talent there? Why are they not producing their own players? That's what they used to do for so many years. Even the likes of Michael Carrick and Alan Shearer. Alan Shearer had to go to Southampton, Michael Carrick had to go to West Ham. But there were so many good Geordie players. Why are these kids not playing football in the streets anymore like they used to? And bringing young players through. I think there's a young kid, Elliot Anderson, 18 years of age. Maybe he might be one for the future. He's 18. But right now...
The Longstaff brothers as well, Matthew and Sean.
Yeah, they've done OK, Kelly. But I'm talking about superstars. That club deserves... The fans, the club... They've always had a superstar player. There isn't one now.
Probably Andy Carroll was probably the last one to come
last
through there,
one.
where he obviously went to big money for.
It's a mess.
For Liverpool.
It's a mess right now. I feel for Steve Bruce. I feel for the fans. It's not good enough, but he's trying his heart out. You can see it. You know him. You can feel his pain there.
Yeah, I can. Yeah. It's difficult for him because you're right. I think today he tried to go with the 2 strikers, and me being a former striker, looking at them 2 playing together, it looks like they'd never played together before in their lives. Like there was no kind of communication between the two. It was kind of like they hadn't worked in it in training. It was like, right, Andy Carroll, you're going to play this way and playing this way. Callum Wilson's their talisman. And I think he must have touched the ball less than any person on the pitch because there was nothing for him to attack. He didn't have a chance to go for on goal. There was nothing for him. So I think they've got to find a way of getting the best out of him because, as we've seen, if he doesn't score, they don't score any goals and they won't get any results. So he's in a tough place, Steve Bruce, real tough place.
And he's talking about those creative players maybe creating more chances, which he hopes will lead to goals, which he hopes will lead to improved results as well. They are 7 points off the bottom 3. It's worth reminding ourselves of that. However, do you think that they could find themselves closer to that relegation zone and in a real relegation battle?
Oh, 100%. I mean, watching the game today, I didn't see anything where I thought, all right, well, that went against them or they were unfortunate there, they might have got something from it. I just didn't see any kind of energy, any desire from the players, anything where they kind of put any passages or passes together where you thought, oh, that was quite inventive. I can see what they're trying to do there. It was pretty much put the crosses in the box, hope Andy Carroll gets on the end of one, or maybe he flicked one on and the midfielder would have a shot from distance. There was nothing where I could go, I could kind of see what they're trying to do there.
Paceless.
Yeah.
Not an ounce of pace in that team. Who's going to run past anyone? Almiron drops his shoulder every now and again. There's not a bit of pace in that team. And when you want something to happen, I suppose that's why you're hoping Saint-Maximin can do it. They're playing against a Leeds side that are bang out of form. Maybe they can turn it around in that game. But it's tough. They're in a real predicament in so many places. It's almost impossible to nail one thing on it and say, oh, it's Steve Bruce, because they could get rid of Steve Bruce very easy, but it won't change.
No.
mark my word, it will still be the same football. It will still... nothing can change. They might give the players a bit of a lift for a while, but unless they bring in a load of new players and make wholesale changes, and until they get a proper takeover, it's going to be the same problems.